Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3 here on the channel of ECW Revival Series, as we're at our first ever CyberSlam event, as our CyberSlam shows are going to be weekly. They're a weekly network show for here on the WWE Network, so just kind of makes sense from that perspective to have what used to be an event as CyberSlam and make it a TV show, because, obviously didn't want to bring back hardcore TV when that's not really, it's a network show. It's not an actual television show. Just felt like that was the best way of going about it, and our best name for our weekly, I guess, recording. I really don't know how to, because it's hard to not say television show, because that's what it is, but it's not. It's a network show, so it's kind of tough to differentiate between the two, but that's no big deal. As for, this first ever CyberSlam, obviously we're carrying over a lot of things that happened at the Reborn show. So, that was, I felt like that was a really good show, and so we're looking to carry that same momentum, and we got a couple of things that brewed over from that show coming onto this first ever CyberSlam. Plus, we have the addition of adding in some stuff to help build towards Extreme Rules, our next pay-per-view, which that should be a lot of fun to see how that all plays out, which a lot of the big matches are already going to take place. They're already going to be set up on this show, so that should be a lot of fun to kind of see how we can get to those points after we announce what's happening. So that should be a lot of fun. As also the Women's Championship. That tournament is going to start on this CyberSlam show, and it should end at the Extreme Rules show. So we should crown our first Women's Champion. So that should be a lot of fun. So yeah, without further ado, let's run the show. As our first pre-show match, our first two pre-show matches, Christina Von Eerie taking on Shaw Guerrero. It's obviously two younger girls on the roster. Just wanted to see how they were. Ratings-wise, yeah, Christina Von Eerie, 17. Shaw, though, 23, so that's cool that Shaw Guerrero is a little bit better. Christina Von Eerie, obviously on the lower end of the spectrum, these two girls are compared to kind of everybody else. And Christina Von Eerie's finish is a code breaker, which probably change the name of that to something, have it be, because I'm sure she doesn't call it a code breaker. That's a big deal, though. That's an easy switch. So our next matchup, Drew McIntyre and Drew McIntyre and Adam Pearce, as Drew McIntyre wins with a Scott drop. As the idea for Drew, obviously during this time, he was 3-B and he gets released. I want to say it was, after the WrestleMania 30 cuts, as they do kind of the annual post-WrestleMania cuts, and he was part of them. As for in this alt timeline, he gets sent to ECW because, Vince is kind of like, oh, we're thinking about letting him go, and Paul's just like, no, let me take him. I'll take Drew for ECW. So, just wanted to see how he was going to do pre-show wise, and 51, not bad. Not bad at all, and he's going to be the chosen one, the kind of rebirth of that, and saying, I missed my opportunity the first time around, not going to miss it, second chance, this is really make or break for him, and now or never for Drew McIntyre. I'll probably, change around his finishes, too, maybe, because I think the Claymore is a great finish, maybe we'll give him that, because obviously around this time he was not doing that. So yeah, we'll probably add that to his finish. So we got a lot of moveset changes already after our first CyberSlam. We're not even into the main show, or just like, we're changing this, we're going to change that. So that's fun. So yeah, the CyberSlam intro, which I'm sure will probably, I want to do a throwback to when ECW's Hardcore TV intro was the Thunder Kiss 65 song. I just feel like that'd be a fun song to have for the CyberSlam intro. Just a little callback to that. So yeah, I'm sure that's what this theme is going to be played during the CyberSlam intro. Gets a 63, not bad at all. Not bad at all. So yeah, the graphic for the women's tournament is kind of the first thing you see when you start up the episode. First round matchups are Paige versus Athena, the Extreme Phenom Athena. Mickey James and Christina Von Eerie, Ruby Riott and Beth Phoenix, and Karma and Melissa Anderson, which that should be a pretty fun matchup. Some bad bitches in that last match. That should be a lot of fun to see. They wrote Adam Pearce, not really great at being a road agent so far. I think we learned that the last episode, and we didn't switch him off not being a road agent. So that's just kind of my bad. I will have to fix that at the end of this episode. That's an easy fix. Easy fix. So yeah, and the first women's tournament matchup is the first match on the CyberSlam. Paige gets the win with the Rampage, and 739-41 for Rampage. For Paige, rather. That was, boy, lapse adjustment there. And then Athena with a 27. Yeah, being Paige, made sense there that she was going to get the win. Obviously, big things for Paige for ECW, even in its early infancy here for the reboot, the revival, and they have a replay of the post-match scene from Punk vs. Hero to hype up tonight's matchup of Kinta versus Cabana. So when Kinta debuted, looking to set up Punk for a GTS, Cabana made the save, so now those two are going to have a singles match, which gets a 44. I was a little nervous about how these two ratings would go, but Kinta did pretty well. He got the win as the Kinta combo into the Busaiku knee. That's just awesome. That is good stuff there for Kinta, getting a big win in his debut, and presumably setting up for Kinta and Punk at Extreme Rules, GTS versus GTS. Makes sense to have that be kind of Kinta's first feud in ECW here in the States. Just kind of makes sense. But yeah, Cabana did pretty good though. 44 for Kinta. Got the groundswell support for Kinta. As the next thing is a backstage interview with Tommy Dreamer. Stevie Richards is the backstage interviewer for ECW, which, Nick, as he was, working a lot on helping me out with the Alpha and stuff, he kind of was like, interesting you had Stevie Richards as that. I just feel like Stevie would be a great backstage interviewer. He does the thing like on Twitch, he Twitch streams, he has a YouTube channel, he kind of works a lot of like tech stuff and does a lot of interviews and stuff, so I just feel like he would have been a perfect kind of fit for this role. And here we go, we got, got a little green there for Stevie Richards. I just feel like he'd be a great interviewer. Tommy Dreamer just basically explains, that, last night in kind of a traditional fashion in ECW, Tommy Dreamer takes a fall. I'm sure that was a bit of a nostalgia pop for a lot of the ECW fans. But now tonight's going to be a little different. I asked Paul before we got to the arena tonight if he could make this a tag team matchup for me and a partner of my choosing against Tommy End and Yoshihiro Tajiri. And I got my partner, and then comes Rob Van Dam. So that's just kind of fun little backstage interview promo. Rob Van Dam's just like, we got to show these new kids what ECW is all about, and me and Tommy are going to beat the shit out of Tommy and even Yoshihiro Tajiri too, as I just kind of setting up for their matchup, which is next, as Quick Death takes the fall. It's Rob Van Dam pinning Yoshihiro Tajiri with a 5-star frog splash. I want to keep Tommy in strong, but also, have Yoshihiro Tajiri, as he's, much better than Tommy in there. Tommy in with a 26. Oof, 2 crazy matches back to back. That did not work well. I wasn't really thinking when I was putting this card together, but it's still, not a bad match at all. Obviously, Van Dam with a 70. Good stuff there. Really carrying that match to a 50. That was a good thing Rob's in that match. But, I felt like that's a fun little... Gives the ECW Originals a nice little win at the ECW arena. That's fun. Felt like it was a good little... And also continuation of what Tommy End and Tommy Dreamer did on the ECW Reborn show. So now we have Paul Heyman in his office. Comes out, has a big, walk-in entrance from his office into the ECW. A big pop, obviously, the return of Paul Heyman again after being on the Reborn show. And he announces 2 title matches for Extreme Rules and for the live crowd. It's going to be the tag team title matchup. Crown our first champions in the rebirth of ECW. It's going to be Eddie Kingston and Homicide versus Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon Dudley. So a rematch. Instead of a tables match, it's going to be 2v2. Eddie Kingston, Homicide against Bubba and Devon. See if they have the same success they did on the Rebirth show. And then for the ECW World Title, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. 2 men that won in their matches at the Reborn show. As Bobby Lashley beating Rhino, and then Brock Lesnar beating Rob Van Dam. So that should be very exciting to see how those 2 matches go for Extreme Rules. So now we're going to crown 3 new champions. We're going to crown our World Champion, Tag Champ, and our Women's Champion. So it's looking like Extreme Rules is going to be a pretty fun show. And hopefully a nice, we're going to continue that same success that we had at the Reborn show, and now at Extreme Rules, kind of showing who our champions are. Should be an exciting show. And then out comes our main event in the 6-man tag match of Rhino and the Dudleys. So it's ECW Originals taking on MVP's most violent players as Homicide and Kingston with MVP. This time, though, the ECW Originals get the win again, so you can kind of see the theme for the Cyber Slam as they kind of give those ECW guys who lost on the Reborn show kind of their win back. as the Dudleys get the win. Bubba pinning Eddie Kingston with a bully cutter. Something it was a 3D, but that's okay. Bully cutter can get the win over Eddie Kingston. And after the match, Dudley set up a table and put MVP through it with a 3D to end out the show on a big high note. As I got a 61, not too bad at all. In the match, I felt like the match did pretty well, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty fun show, pretty good fun send-off. And yeah, we increased our pop in all the regions, so that's fun. Yeah, I mean, the women's division, still, still in its infancy. We gotta get it better. But, I mean, everything else, I liked how the card kind of... I did not expect the Punk Hero hype recap of Kinta and Cabana to not do so well, but obviously having kind of Punk be involved in that definitely helped it out. And plus, the main event with a 66, that's not bad at all. It's a very fine main event, and pretty much I liked how the card was set up and everything, so that's cool with me. So yeah, now on to our next ScyberSlam. Should be exciting. Obviously, we already have one match set up, but that's the women's championship, the women's championship tournament, as Christina Von Eerie, Mickie James, which that should be interesting to see how that one plays out. Obviously, it makes sense probably who's going to win that one, but still, hopefully all goes well. Nobody gets hurt or anything on that matchup. As I thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support over the past couple of episodes. It's been a lot of fun to do this and to get back into, booking the Land of Extreme in this rebirth and this all timelines. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm happy you all have enjoyed it. As I will catch you guys next time for the next episode. Take care, everyone.